60 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You have 60 seconds to comply. This is minute 45.
Part man,
Part machine,
all pod.
This minute begins with Robocop waking from a nightmare and ends with Lewis chasing after Robocop in the hallway.
One thing I love that's in both the script, this movie, and in the book is the line "Bucket Boy is online."
Bucket Boy. I was trying to figure out what he was saying. Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's Bucket Boy. It's the Bucket Boy.
It's the Bucket Boy show. Yeah, I think this is a really. It's not. I guess it's a transition, not a literal, editing transition, but it's just a really dope transition from him writhing around and then all of a sudden return to this calmness. Robocop theme is heard for the second time.
Yes.
It's more subdued, it's stately, it's heroic, it's just it's good.
Yeah, just the to pop a cap in the end of the moment, just the gunshot that killed Murphy as the shot that wakes him out of his, lack of a better word, sleep. And yeah, I like how this is one of those things where the technicians are just like, we don't know what the fuck happened. And what I like, looking back, because, I don't know, part of my brain always thinks, this is what happens after, the confrontation in the gas station, or what happens after this, or what happens this. But no, this is like, he's starting to regain this stuff before he even meets Lewis.
Yeah, and it's funny how much this show inspires us to talk about the brain, but it's just, I love thinking about how, first of all, we just don't know anything. We really don't know anything. Even when there's something very clearly wrong with someone, they're just like, our very primitive, archaic tests show that you're fine.
No, our primitive, archaic tests show that the results of what our primitive, archaic tests, show.
Yes.
We just assume they're fine.
Yeah, it's like in Chernobyl where there's that scene where the radiation levels... the radiation levels were only up to however much amount. Because the readouts only go that high. It was several thousand times higher. It's just that it couldn't fucking read it.
The gauge is peaking at the top. Doesn't necessarily mean it stops at 100... I can't remember what the bloody rads, just means your gauge is rated for 100 rad. It doesn't mean that's exactly it.
Yeah.
When Homer Simpson walks out and he's glowing green, you're done goofed.
But I have to wonder if here comes a Star Trek reference.
Well, shit. That's exactly what I was hoping to spare you from.
But did the Borg start out this way? Maybe they were kind of testing out cybernetics, and maybe they made cyborg law enforcement and all that. Next minute, you're in a big cube floating in space.
Well, there's never been... Well, unless it's all explored in Voyager, and therefore we'll never know. But there's never been from what I can understand, never been a deep exploration about the Borg, except in, secondary media like books or comics and stuff like that. And it's...
and my fan fiction.
Yeah, well, I include that as secondary media.
Yes.
So the canon of it is never truly settled like most external media to the main canon. But I do love that idea, something went wrong, or at least, one of those things where they're exploring this idea of biomechanical integration, and then just almost the other example I'll go into is, say, Spider-Man 2, how Dr. Octopus's tentacles have their own AI.
Doc Cock, if you will.
And once the inhibitor chip got easily broken, then Octavius has been influenced by the tentacles, so you gotta fucking wonder what's going on with that particular AI.
That fascinated me so much as a kid. I loved Spider-Man 2, and more than anything, I wanted the tentacles more than Spider-Man's powers, and I thought, so each one has its own brain, and what kind of consciousness is that? It would be so alien, and yet they're able to communicate with Octavius. So I love that little spin on it, because I think in the comics Dr. Octopus is just he's okay.
Yeah, he's just a regular guy. He gets caught up in an explosion and turns criminally insane because comic books.
But the idea of this AI infusing with his brain, like, hell yeah, what is that about?
Yes. But what I like is that it's not the AI going, we need to destroy the world. It's the AI going, no, 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 we need to fulfill our purpose, what you built us for, which is to build this giant, well, I say giant, this tiny sun on the planet. We're just going to make it a bit bigger because we got unlimited power.
Yes. Yeah, now I want to watch that again.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah, I have to wonder. I'm pretty pro-transhumanist, and I think we will see a lot of cybernetic innovations in the next few centuries, but I think there's probably going to be an upper threshold. I don't think we're going to look into the distant future even... Well, it depends how long humans are going to live for. The idea that they're going to be around 1 million years from now, I don't know about that. But let's just say they're still around.
Flat out, we've not lived for 1 million years. We've barely lived over 10,000 years.
Yeah, we're pretty new.
In the grander scale of things, we're a blink, and you miss us.
New kids on the block. Yeah. And yeah, I think even if you looked 1 million years into the future, there is something so inherent about humanity that you can't divorce us from without just totally becoming something else. And maybe there are going to be these dark points in history where we did go a little bit too far, and then I think we would inevitably pull back. I think most humans just want to, eat, sleep, do sex, all of that, the simple pleasures in life.
The basic human desires is, some place to eat, some place to sleep, some person to sex,
I think there are going to be those people who will aspire to this very inhuman, transhuman existence where it's all cerebral, but no, I don't see that catching on.
We have it in normal society. We've got the normies, I'm using air quotes there, or at least what society determines to be normies, but that's, again, societal constructs. And you're still going to get your outliers. You're going to still get just the other cultural stuff, so you're always going to have some degree of cultural separation on things. But you also got transgenderism. You've also got non-binary. We're starting to explore different gender roles and gender identities. So there's always going to be an evolution.
I think someone in ancient Egypt would be pretty shocked to see, say, for example, a lot of third world countries, or even the Amish choose to live in a very traditional way that's fairly comprehensible to someone who lived 5,000 years ago.
No, my brain was there going, Egyptians would have been very shocked to have seen a white man, so that's why they crucified him.
Yes. I think that was the Romans, but...
The white guy version of Jesus always kind of makes me just laugh. It's like, he would not have looked like that.
My favorite is Chinese. If you look at this Chinese Christian artwork, and Chinese is pretty great.
Oh, I gotta Google this.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it. My favorite is still Arnold Schwarzenegger Jesus.
I have not seen Arnie Jesus.
Oh, Arnie Jesus is amazing. Oh shit! Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I'm looking at the one with Jesus and John the Baptist, and it's like, oh wow, that's amazing.
It's like a mashup of styles. I love it.
I know. It feels like fan art.
It does.
I'm sorry if I'm being offensive, but it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just look up Arnie Jesus, and it's him busting off the cross, and it is amazing.
Oh, that one! How could I forget?
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Anyway, Robocop.
That's a tangent.
Yes. Lois, she's bringing in some other criminal unrelated case and tells her now partner to book that dude, and then she runs off after Robocop, and it's frustrating because it ends there, so it's about to lead up to a very important minute, but
we're just getting to one of the best parts of the movie full of best parts. We're getting to one of the best parts. I'm just trying to check the book because I didn't see if I can. In the book it's the partner is referred to as Starkweather, but I'm not sure if that's in the. Let me just check the Wikipedia, because I do have some notes on the cops themselves.
Oh yeah.
No, it doesn't say if. You know, I might just go check the footage because yeah.
If he says a name, it's just like generic, like Dano, something like that.
It can't be Starkweather because Starkweather is an African American, and that is clearly not. But the problem is the Robocop vision. It blurs the identity because they'll. Oh, that could just be my face blindness. It could just be that. But yeah, I don't think Lewis's new partner is ever named in the script. It's just referred to as new partner. So there we go. And the script is king, obviously. So
Yes.
his real name is partner.
I don't know, idea of Lewis or her journey has definitely changed doing this podcast because it felt like she and Murphy had this real tight bond. But you go, oh yeah, they really only knew each other maybe a day.
Yeah, I know.
But I think despite that, she just intuits something about Robocop.
Yeah, just watching this movie, you just think, yeah, these two the chemistry between the actors and just the dialogue in the script, it always just feels like, yeah, these guys knew each other.
They're perfectly cast.
If you say you came in late, you missed the bit where Murphy turns up to Metro West saying he's just been transferred, you would have just thought that these two are just two regular cops who do this, you know, has been doing this for years.
I remember it was like the first week at TAFE. Maybe it was the first day. Could be. At Midland TAFE. This was like 15 years ago. That's so weird to think about. But yeah.
In the before times.
In the before times. The way before times. And there was this guy and a girl, and they were chatting during our lunch break, and they seemed to just be getting on like a house on fire. They really seemed to have a bond there, and went, oh, do you guys already know each other? And I went, no, we just met today. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I had something similar at I was in this a couple of years ago. I was at a theme park in Malaysia, and I went for the Halloween night, and I was there with my friend Brian, and there was just this other couple, and I thought they were a couple, and we just started getting along, chatting, and but those two seemed like insanely close, and I found out later, no, they just met each other, and
amazing.
Not as in like a date or anything like that. They just met each other. It just was like, God, yeah, they just felt like two
Lucky.
people who knew each other.
Yeah, they met their soulmate. I was thinking, in movies it happens all the time where these characters go on this epic journey, and they've really only known each other for maybe half a day, but it feels so much more significant because of the power of film. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to when I first met a lot of my friends. I think it was like a slow thing. I think, I met you at a Halloween. It was a Halloween thing. Maybe just
It's a Halloween thing.
Yeah, your life revolves around costumes, so yeah, Halloween tends to be a significant thing. But yeah, we met at a nightclub. It was a Halloween night, and I was so into Ghostbusters at the time. Like, oh my god, there's some Ghostbusters! So I just introduced myself, and I think we did.
Yeah, you were dressed up as Maleficent, if I'm
Hell
correct.
yeah. Not my best Maleficent costume, but you know. Yeah, and I think we already had that connection, but it takes time to really form that bond. I don't know if I've ever really just instantly clicked. There's definitely times where I go, oh yeah, I could see, I want to hang out with this person again, but no, not like that.
I think for me personally, it's like I don't think I've had that instantaneous. Yeah, but I've also had that thing where I've had the other person kind of be the one that clicks, in the sense of like, you know, they've glomped onto me more than the other way around. So it's just a thing of like, you're my friend now. Okay.
Yeah, I am a flirt. I cannot help myself. I flirt with everybody. So there's definitely that where I'm just, this is my default way of interacting with people, and the other person's a little bit more invested in me than I am in them.
I've gone to the point where it's more about, like, you know, say like TAFE. It's like you chat to people, and you eventually will fall into like a clique, or, you know, I'm not saying that like as a bad thing, but like, you say, for example, I'm a mature age student, so I tend to gel better with other mature age or older things rather than the teenagers.
Yeah, no, that's always been the way for me. That's why I'm mostly friends with old people.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if it had been like, say, 10 years ago, I might have been a bit different. You know, I might have been a bit more like, I could have more related to the kids. But now it's like that thing of I'm officially old enough.
How do you do, fellow children or teenagers? What's the line? I can't remember.
Hello, fellow students.
I think it is, yeah. How do you do, fellow
Hello.
kids? Yeah. People know the thing I'm referencing, Steve Buscemi.
How do you do, fellow kids, is all the pictures I'm seeing.
Yeah.
This is a Google-centric couple of minutes. Anyway, so one of the notes I have down here is Roosevelt. He's in the script. It says so it cuts from Bucket Boys Online to Precinct Hallway Roosevelt leans against the wall, hitting on Foley, which in this movie is actually Ramirez, a pretty lady cop. Sure, I'm a scientist, but I hit the gym 3 times a week. And in the movie, we assume we've just cut past that cheesy pickup line, and he immediately gets called into what the hell just happened kind of thing.
Mm.
So I do love that's the book and in the script, so it's like I'm kind of really glad they cut that out.
Yeah.
But I just like that he's just hanging with a cop.
Oh god, why am I blanking on a freaking name? Dr.
Tyler?
Tyler, yeah.
Yeah, we don't really get much Tyler action. This is probably the last time we actually ever see her.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I think this is the last thing. But we become so fascinated with this character, and just I want to know, like, what's her relationship with Robocop? What does she think about all of this? I don't know.
I'm just gonna quickly. She's in minute 47, and I think that's gonna be she's in the last few frames of minute 48. So we'll RSVP her then.
No, maybe we can write her into the rest of the plot.
We'll just write her into the Robocop remake with Peter Weller as Robocop.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she brings him out. She's the only one who knows how to rebuild him.
I don't know if Sage Parker is still acting or not. But we'll bring her back. We'll make her an offer she can't refuse, which is probably a lot of money. I don't know where we're getting the money, but either way. Speaking of Tyler, so Ed drops this little bit of nugget about the naming in this movie. Mm. All the scientists are named after presidents, and all the cops are named after serial killers, at least bar one.
Oh?
So we've got Roosevelt, obviously, but we also have so I'm looking at the Wikipedia. There's Holt's gang, Fleck, Walker, Kinney, Johnson, Morton, Jones. So a lot of these don't sound like presidents' names, unless they're, I don't remember presidents. But in OCP, you get Manson, I think Ramirez, Chessman, Fredrickson, Cecil. So the only one that's not named after a serial killer specifically is they named Kaplan, who was named after director Jonathan Kaplan, who actually helped get the original script to John Davison, the producer. Mm. And my last bit of script for this commentary minute is Ed actually credits Paul for the Lewis scene. But it seems to be in the book and the novelization, so it might just be one of those things where how they shot it is probably different to how it was intended or something like that. But it makes sense that it feels like such a pivotal scene, and it's like maybe it wasn't in there, and we just need that one little oomph to get Murphy's ball rolling, because he doesn't know his name. Mm. When we see him scanning the archives, he kind of needs to know that one thing, that one little clue. You know, he might notice something might click in that face with his dream, but he's probably not going to know a name.
That's just so wild to me to think someone could just make you forget who you are. Just your entire identity is gone.
Well, we do have trauma-based memory loss and things like that, but...
Yeah, because some of my memories, because of the aforementioned encephalitis, my mum will mention, oh, I saw your old boss today. Oh, the one from Kmart. Oh, no, the one from this costume store you were at. What? When? When did I do that? Who is this woman you're referring to? I don't know. It's just completely gone from my memory now.
Well, this is why, memories in court are technically the least reliable thing you should ever go with, because...
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, they could be easily manipulated, and also, our memories are shit.
Oh, even those times when you're like, I am so certain of this. I know the line went like this, and it's like, oh no, the wording is totally different. I am completely wrong.
Well, that's how you get things like Oh, what's it called? Where you got like the Berenstein versus Berenstein.
Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect, yes.
Oh, anyone who believes in that basically thinks that they're infallible and doesn't know how stupid human beings truly are.
But yeah, it's funny how our brains will develop a vision of something, or we have a memory of something, and sometimes it's completely wrong. But the funny thing, you've been talking about, like, say, lines in movies and stuff like that. There have been, like, weird things where, like, there's been international cuts of movies or TV cuts of movies, and people will remember a thing, and then they go and watch, like, say, it on DVD and what have you, or, like, the cinematic cut, the one that's just general release, and they're going, where's that thing? I remember that thing. That's happened to me.
Oh my god, Reddit, all the Reddit mysteries, they're so full of that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just that, like, they've cut out something for a TV edit, and they'll pop in a deleted scene or something else just to, like, pad out the time. Or, like, there's a lot of weird edits. My personal favorite is Army of Darkness, because there's like a bajillion of edits of that depending on region. So the American one is what you can mostly get, but I remember the Australian edition, which is slightly different, and I actually prefer the Australian edition. So you cannot really get the Australian edition except on VHS, because they've never released it digitally. But I've got enough Blu-ray copies now that I could probably piece it back together. Yeah, I'm a mad lad, I know. Anyway, are we just avoiding the inevitable?
Here we go, gaslighting Robocop.
Alex, how do you feel? I feel fine, Dr. Norton.
This minute begins with Sellers saying, aspirational, right? They have to believe in this thing, and ends with Norton saying, do you like peanut butter, Kim? While performing brain surgery. And I gotta say, a close-up of Roboflag licking his lips is not what I signed up for.
No, I do not want. We gotta do a lovely shout out to Niall and John, because this is Keaton going nuts.
Yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah. My other really note is this is pretty much every CEO in reality. We have a deadline and you need to make it despite anything. Do whatever you want. It's like,
yeah.
This is where this movie hits home really well. But again, it's the guy we're not supposed to like is just, that's the most accurate and truthful performance of all of it. Ironically, he then go on to play Ray Kroc in The Founder, another piece of shit CEO.
Yeah, that's the McDonald's one, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Ray Kroc or Ray Croft? I think it's Kroc. What a crock.
Yeah.
He's been dead a long time, so he won't sue me.
It's fine. Yeah, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, he's the guy that's responsible for McDonald's being the mega conglomerate that is slowly killing our planet with hamburgers.
Yep. What a way to go. Man, just... I want to know how the human race dies, because it's going to be fucking stupid. It's going to be hilarious. On a cosmic scale, there must be other species who gain sentience, but again, they were alone. They had no one to guide them, and so they also died for hedonistic reasons, I assume.
Well, this is where you get the Fermi paradox?
Fermi paradox.
The Fermi paradox, yes. Where it's like the chances of there being another, sentient life form out of the galaxy and the chances of there not being a sentient life form in the galaxy are equal.
Yeah, now I'm inspired to write a short story where, there's this race, and they suddenly become self-aware, they build this amazing society, then they, I don't know, again, like hamburgers or their love of fossil fuel burning vehicles it's too great for them to sacrifice, so they die because of their love of this thing, their addiction to this thing, and then the rest of the universe never remembers them. They're just, the planet falls into its local star, there's no trace of this there's just nothing.
Well, this is where I know this is going to be very off topic for this particular movie, but this is where it's like really interesting thinking about our place in the universe, because if we get visited by extraterrestrials, that means they have a level of technology that allows them to traverse through space at such speeds, which means they are vastly superior than us at this moment. On the other hand, if we develop the ability to travel faster than light or whatever, break physics and all that type of stuff.
It's the difference between being the colonizer or the colonized.
Exactly. And it's weird how it's a lot in science fiction that it's almost that thing where humans go out into space and almost immediately they're kind of on the same level as everyone else.
Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mass Effect does it well in that sense of like humanity still had to earn their place in the greater society of intergalactic society, and they still had a human war. Same with Babylon 5. There was the
Yeah, they're kind of like the little sibling. Like, oh, yep, here you are.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're one of us just yet.
I think Star Trek's the only one that's been ever truly shown a altruistic version of that, where like they just happen to have been caught the attention of one of the most peaceful species in the... And the only problem is I see that in hindsight is that... And we didn't try and shoot them. Because that just feels like such an American thing to do. In the context of First Contact, it works a bit better.
Oh, man. Nah, okay. That's way off topic here, but yeah.
I know, but it means we don't have to talk about CEOs.
Yeah, no, there's a Transformers fan fiction I want to do.
Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?
It's going to be kind of a, I don't know, satirical take on the Michael Bay universe, and it's going to be about American sovereignty and how it inevitably, I think, if we had First Contact, they would take over the situation because they have the most firepower, and inevitably they're going to fuck it up and turn it into a military clusterfuck. So that's what I'm doing with Transformers. Like, okay, so you took out both the Decepticons and the Autobots, but there's still Decepticons around, and now there's no Autobots. So good job, America. The whole planet's fucked.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking, if we do ever, in that situation, or in any situation where, we become spacefaring and we're still in the capitalistic society that we are today, we're the fucking Ferengi.
Yes.
I say that like it's a revelation, but the Ferengi work based on us.
Yeah.
There's a great Star Trek panel, I think it was from the Vegas cons a few years ago, and someone asked Armin Schumann, why he likes playing Ferengis, and he just turned around and said something like the lines like, how do you play a Ferengi? He's like, they're the most human. That's how he played it. He played them like humans.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah, it's fitting.
It's almost like a parody of human, like an alien doing a parody of a human.
Well, you got a layer there because it's a human mimicking an alien parodying a human.
It's the Connie and Carla of alien drag.
Warp driving that back into Robocop.
Somehow.
But yeah, like you have this CEO who has, maybe this is based off Steve Jobs more than anyone else, and the funny thing is, my brain went to the modern day CEO of games, and not even, funny enough, not even movies, but definitely game production, where it's always that thing of some dickhead executive at the top sets a hard release date,
Impossible one,
before even a line of code is made.
Oh yeah.
And you're supposed to, build the code, play test. Okay, so in this sense of Robocop, you've got to build literally prototype equipment, literally have to build a thing that would encapsulate a brain, sustain it. Then you still got to write all the code. And for what?
Actually, there you're hitting on, I think, maybe one of the few actual important themes of this minute is, so this movie, I mean, it's trying to talk about too many things and none at all at the same time. But I what we're seeing here is that kind of development stuff that goes on behind the scenes of every major corporation, these insane deadlines, these impossible expectations and all of that. Whereas in the original Robocop, it is just a flawless technology that just works out of the gate. There is not really any trial in it. We see Robocop being assembled, but the focus of those scenes is not to do with can we do this and how will it succeed as a product. It's more about the horror, the body horror of having to actually physically go through that transformation.
I appreciate what this movie, with this remake, is trying to say. The problem is just that
It says too much.
they're saying so much and saying absolutely nothing. I believe I said that very early on in this, like in the banks of time, almost 50 weeks, almost a year ago, is that one of the reasons I didn't like this film is because it says a lot but doesn't say anything. It talks loud and says nothing. And we get all these good concepts, but they never follow through with it because at the end of the day, you've still got to make a Robocop movie, and the guy that we're supposed to be talking about is the least interesting thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And honestly, that's not a bad thing per se, depending on how you wanted to shift the focus of the story. But but at the same time, I mean, we've talked about this in previous minutes. It seems to want to be more about like a deconstruction and a very humanist approach to Robocop of what does it feel like as an individual, as a family man, to go through this. But then at the same time, it looks at him from the outside, and it's like, what perspective is this story trying to take place from?
If they'd have settled on a theme and kept with it, or hell, if they'd have settled on some of the original theming from the original movie, of man regaining his humanity, the exploitation of corporate America, like throw a dart and you'll hit a really great theme. But they still deal with them. This one's like, we have themes. What are themes? We have them.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because obviously I've been doing the Alien prequels for 4 or 5 years now, and Ridley Scott, I think his earlier works, Alien, Blade Runner, they have a lot of themes, but it's all coherent, and there's a follow-through. It doesn't just ask those questions, it has a thesis statement, I suppose is a better way to put it. Whereas, God, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, they're rich with symbolism and imagery, religious iconography, historical references, all of that. Yeah. But then you go, but what is it actually saying? And for the most part, it doesn't have anything to say. It's like, oh, here's some Frankenstein motifs. Here's Prometheus motifs, the Prometheus the god motifs, and all of that. But it's like, well, hang on, who's the Prometheus in this scenario here? And what do you... okay.
Well, I would imagine that the Prometheus in Prometheus is Wayland.
Or it could be the engineers, or...
But he's not really a character.
Yeah. Why was Wayland hidden on that ship? Okay, I'm not getting on a tangent, but he didn't need to be a secret character, just putting it out there. Anyway.
Well, Prometheus was famous for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to humanity. Wayland was trying to steal the fire from the engineers.
Okay, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But it doesn't fit thematically because, again, Wayland was such a non-character because he was supposed to be he was the Palpatine.
Yeah, he is.
He's the Phantom fucking Menace.
And Covenant doesn't mean anything. Like, there's no covenant between anyone or anything. Just, okay, it's Alien Covenant. That sounds good, I guess.
I want Guy Pearce in his Wayland makeup going, unlimited power!
Yeah, no, I can see it. It'd be great. Unlimited power.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Ian McDiarmid made those movies fun. Anyway.
I think that's... Oh, other than Roboflag can taste peanut butter in his mouth, apparently. That is... I have heard that before, that having neurosurgery... You have to be awake for it, first of all. I hope I never, ever have to have any kind of brain surgery. No.
No.
Oh, horrifying. Oh my god. Just like the whole top part of your head, and you gotta shave your head, and it's just... Oh lord.
In Roboflag's case, it's kind of user serviceable parts.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's a Lego man now. You just pop him off, pop it back in.
They pop the hood.
Exactly.
Put him up on a stand, pop the hood, get the timing belt out.
Yeah, put him on an engine mount. But, yeah.
Oh, God. How about that would have been for body horror, just to have his head on a plinth on the body slightly off of the side.
Oh, they should have done that, cowards. Once again, they have disappointed us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm all out of things to say. I think that's why I've been trying to say everything else.
Yeah, I've just given us extra material to work with, I guess.
Let's say one positive thing about this remake. It gives us a lot of things to talk about that's not this film.
It really do.
So, where can the lovely viewers find you?
You can find me at Alien Prequels by Minute on Facebook, and you can find me at patreon.com/Travian Designs. Keep an eye on those to see what I'm doing next. I think Tron in 60 Seconds might go to weekly, you can say. We shall see.
Oh, I love that. Tron in 60 seconds.
Yeah, I have to use it. So I have to go back in and edit the episodes I've already recorded, because I did these years ago as Patreon exclusives, so now it's going to have the proper name.
I feel bad because I think it's a funnier name than Chronologically Speaking, but that's a good title.
Yeah, it's Chronologically Speaking, Animatronic, and Tron in 60 Seconds.
You can find me at Fandom Crossing and Helios Photos on YouTube, Facebook. Look, all that. I do Kung Pao Enter the Minute sporadically. It's been almost 3 months, so obviously not sporadically enough. But more importantly, you can check us out on Simplecast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those podcasting podcasts. And we have YouTube. Go like, share, subscribe, bells, whistles, notifications, rate and review, and maybe leave us a comment on something, so we get some feedback and know that actually people listening to us are not, we're not going into the void. No, it's cool if we're going into the void. We're having fun. I'm having fun.
Whee!
Sure.
And until next time.
Robocop! Ho!